#1 source for the sports gamer.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Gomes here with Sports Gamers Online, and today I want to discuss the top 10 things that I want to see implemented and changed, altered, to be put into the Road to the Show and Franchise, the two major offline modes coming into MLB the Show 17's release date in March. Alright, so first off, I just want to state once again, these are in no specific order. They're just 10 things that I really want to see, and why not start off with one of the ones that I really want to see the most implemented and changed. Here's the player customization for a Road to the Show player. Look at the hairstyles. You got straight, long, slicked back. Oh, first of all, they don't all look that good. You know, you have your fades, which honestly, I don't even know what that is. It looks kind of weird. Like, I think it's 8 or 9 hairstyles. They need a lot more than that. That is not going to cut it. I just started playing NBA 2K17. There's so many. There's probably about 30 different hairstyles, and I think people are even complaining on there. If they even knew about this game. Beards, it's a little bit better. I'd still like to see a little bit different facial hair. I mean, you think of a Dallas Keuchel, the pitcher for the Astros. Why can I not have his specific beard in the game? I mean, I know it's about scanning their face and all, but come on, there's gotta be some way that you can make it so I can have Keuchel's beard in this game. My next idea and point is actually something that can be found in Madden NFL. And basically what that idea is connected careers. Madden has it. I'd like to see it on MLB the Show. Basically what it is I can have a player on the Mets, my friend Jimmy can have a player on the Nationals, and my friend Bob can have a player on the Phillies. They're all in the same division. We'd see each other a bunch, and it'd be like having yourself on these teams. It's a whole league that your friends are in. So it's not just like a season, it's your player. You're playing with your player on your team, your friends on this team, and you can grow up, your attributes can increase, and you'll keep playing games with each other. And I think it'd be really cool to see. Like I said, Madden has it. I'd really like to see it come to MLB. Biggest one by far. This game needs a career. It needs a story mode. 2K has it. Obviously, they've been running with one for a while. They had the Spike Lee thing back in 2K16, and now they went away from that, but I'm glad that they did. I think that was a little bit too much, and it only lasted for pretty much like a little bit, but that's not important. We're talking about MLB and the journey to the bigs. Considering the one game where you get drafted, you're not instantly playing. Like, you think of NFL, Jared Goff isn't starting, but let's think of a Carson Wentz. The spot opened up, he started the first game when he got drafted. Think of baseball, 2, 3, 4 years until you even see it in the major leagues. It has so much potential, because I think baseball is honestly about the perfect sport for that, just for that reason. The ride to the bigs. You start in so many different minor league systems, Class A, Invitational. It's crazy. You do so much stuff. You meet so many people. There's a lot of time there's injuries, there's things that could set you back, there's bad decisions you could make, which gets into interactive decisions that you could do with that. You could have cutscenes, presentation. This game has so much potential. I know people love Road to the Show. Road to the Show, I think it first came to MLB in 08, and I believe that's kind of what got like a lot of people into this game. Stick with what got you popular, and I think it'd just be so cool if they put that into this game. Interactions is a good feature in theory, but for the life of Road to the Show, ever since it came in 08, like I said before, it's not that good. You see, right now I have position change, playing time, or retire. These are ones that'd be a lot better. One is requesting your release from a team. Let's say I'm playing for the New York Mets. I don't want to be on that team, and if I don't want to be on that team, I ask to be traded. Otherwise, I'm stuck on that team for, let's say if I have 5 more years, I'm stuck on the Mets for 5 more years. Even if I don't want to, you can do it in the MLB. I don't know why you can't request your release in this game. Another one is being the team captain. You know, Derek Jeter was the captain. There's a lot of instances where it's the captain player, even if it's not publicly known. It'd be cool because then as a captain, you can advise like, hey, maybe our backup shortstop, he's been killing it lately. I think he'd do better in a starting role than the current shortstop, and you could make suggestions and kind of like control the team like a player coach. Think of like a LeBron James. You could say, you know, this one guy from San Francisco, he looks pretty good, and we're kind of struggling at first base right now. Maybe if we picked him up, we'd have a better shot at winning the title this year. Things like that. And also mid-season contract restructuring and extending. So for example, we see Matt Harvey right here. Obviously he didn't have the best year, but let's assume that he had another Dark Knight type season and he didn't get hurt. His contract's gonna end after this year. And if I'm so because this game, it's not always like certain whether you're gonna get a player back when it goes to free agency. A much better way, I know you can do this in the MLB, so I'm wondering why you can't do this on this game, is say, how about I pay you $9.5 million the next 3 years, and I can work out a contract in terms with him during the season rather than waiting till the off season every single year. This one's frustrating to me because it actually used to be a thing in prior MLB the Shows, but unfortunately it isn't anymore, and it has to do with the budget. What I'm talking about is you have your stadium, and you could make sure your turf was the best turf that any team had. You could give your players like some weights to work out with, the pool, a lot of things for your fans, things that you can build within the stadium that could make fans more happy. You could make more money that way. You could buy shops, so there's more shops, so you'll sell more merchandise and stuff like that. And you could also set prices. You could set like parking prices, ticket prices. You could add more seats to your stadium. It's just so many, like, this is a franchise. You know, if I just want to play games, you can play a season. This is a franchise where I should be able to use the money. I want to be the GM. I want to be, you know, I want to like control this team. I want to make us financially stable. I want to give us money so we can go out and get the Clayton Kershaw during the free agency. And ways that you can do that is by making money, and changing how you make money is something that used to be in this game. I really want to see it come back. One of the most missing features in franchise, in my opinion, is the fact that you cannot relocate. Let's take the Tampa Bay Rays, and I am a Rays fan, so I would know. The Rays pull in about 10,000 people a game. Their stadium is not that good. It's probably one of the worst, if not the worst stadiums in the MLB, and even as a Rays fan, I'll admit it. And we don't get people coming to games. Like I said, like 10,000 people. There's cities that want a team. You know, I don't want the Rays to move from Tampa Bay. Do I think it'll happen? There's a good chance. So I'm wondering why. Let's take Vegas. Why can't I move us out to Vegas? Why can't I expand in Canada? Why can't I make the Montreal Expos come back? So many things that it'd be so much better if we could relocate. You know, maybe this place, you know, think of Florida. There's already a bunch of teams in Florida. You know, it's like that for like California too. You know, you still like a home state team, but there's like 5, you know, you have the A's, the Giants, the Dodgers, the Padres. You have so many teams, and oh, the Angels too. You have 5 MLB teams just in California. You know, think of the Padres. If they move to a market that, you know, there's so many places that they could move where I think they'd probably have a bigger fan base because it wouldn't be so split up, and there'd just be more of an environment. Some places are simply not a baseball town, and I just want to see that. Even Matt Kemp said San Diego wasn't a baseball town. Apparently Atlanta is, even though they only won 68 games, but I really wish you could relocate. Just talking about relocating, it brings up building a new stadium. Now, like I said, I'll go back to my Rays example because for this case, I think it's actually a pretty valid one. So the Rays, like I said, have one of the worst stadiums, and by all means, that's not the only thing wrong with why their fan base is not so large. Of course, my fellow Rays fans all argue about that, but of course, so they get 10,000 people a game. You know, that is very, very, very low, and without relocating, the only other option is building a new stadium. Something, I know Target Field built a new stadium. They're getting a new stadium for the Braves. It's obviously something that happens. You can do it in any other game as far as I'm concerned. Why is it not in MLB, which is regarded as one of the best franchise experiences that you can have on a video game simulation console game? So that's just something that would be very interesting to see. You know, obviously with franchise, I want it to be about the money. I want it to be about the money, and you can make it about the money. You have the funds. You think it'll help you out? Build a new stadium. I think it'd be a great thing for MLB the Show 17. Want to re-identify yourself, but you don't wanna change where you are. You don't want to build a new stadium. Do what the New Orleans Pelicans did, or I guess they did build a new stadium, but where you can change the name of your team. Let's say I don't want to be the Phillies anymore. I don't want this logo anymore. I want different team colors. I want new uniforms. I wish you could do that. I know it's a thing in others. I know 2K made a big jump with that this year in rebranding, and where they even have audio names for teams. I wish you could do that. Like, they don't even need to go that far. Just the ability, like, if I don't want to be called the Phillies, if I don't want that logo, like I said, just changes to freshen up the franchise. You know, let's say you've done 5 years with the Phillies, you think maybe a change of look will spice things up. I think it's a very, very valid thing that could be used in MLB. This has always been something that's kind of bothered me, and I don't see people really bring it up that much, but to me as a huge baseball nerd, I wish you could. You can choose from a starting pitcher or closing pitcher. What if I don't want to be a closing pitcher? What if I want to be in the bullpen, but I want to just be like a setup man? What if I want to be a mid reliever? What if I want to be a reliever that comes in when Clayton Kershaw gets hurt and he pitches 4 innings? Why isn't that an option? You know, you can be anything else except a left-handed catcher. Why can I not be like a relief pitcher, like a regular relief pitcher? I think it'd be cool, because I'd actually kind of do that. There's been multiple times where I've wanted to create a new road to the show, and I want to be a pitcher, but I don't want to be a closer, and I don't want to be a starter. I want to be in the middle. I want to be a regular reliever. I wish that you could do that in Road to the Show. Now this one, until this year, I never really knew like how big this is, and that's year-to-year roster saves. If you go through the roster vault, obviously you'll see so many different rosters. Some will be like kind of more silly. They'll just have like one player. What this roster that you're looking at, I've actually done a video on my Gomes the Legend channel. You guys can check that out and search for it. But what this is it's a team. It's teams with like their legends, their past players, their current players. So you'll have the Cardinals, where you got Stan Musial, Albert Pujols back when he was with the Cardinals, Bob Gibson, like a huge span of all the eras of that team. And I spent a lot of time on this roster. What happens when MLB the Show 17 comes out? I have to make this all over again. You see all those players that say rookie? Those are like made players that I did. You see that, or what's a good example? Mark Burley. You see that he's a 94 overall? It's because for every single player, I went on MLB.com and I matched their stats up to a certain year to that like flashback. Think of it like a flashback card, but it's their best year in my opinion, and it's the year that I model them after. So as Mark Burley, I modeled him after a certain year, and I did that for every single player. I did that for Albert Bell, Manny Ramirez, Cy Young, Satchel Paige, Jim Thome, Cliff Lee, CC Sabathia. I did it for all of the players except for like Mike Trout, who's already a 99 and he's at his peak right now. There's no point. But year-to-year roster saves, I know that you can do it. I know you can do it. You can do it in franchise. You can do it in Road to the Show. You can do it in season. There's gotta be a way where I can have year-to-year roster saves and use this exact roster next year. So for me and all the other people that make rosters on this game, you don't have to spend hours upon hours making a new one every single title that releases for MLB the Show 16 or any title in general. But that is the top 10 things, once again in no particular order, that I really want to see change for MLB the Show 17. If you guys have any feedback, if you guys have your own opinions, make sure to leave them down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day. Later, guys. Goes out. Alright, so for my first change and suggestion, now keep in mind these are in no particular order. They're just 10 things that need, in my opinion, need to be in the game, and a lot of you guys have told me that as well. Now the first one is I hope San Diego Studios will spend some extra money to get more licenses to more legends. Now this year obviously they did add more. Last year I believe there was only 30. This year I counted 55 in the game right now. That is 25 more. I believe there's a couple more coming. Obviously they do week by week to add some more players usually, but still 25. I mean, if you think of it, baseball, you have Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, Ken Griffey Jr., Pete Rose, so many players that they could add. They just have to